A picture, as they say, is worth 1,000 words. Variations of this sentiment echo down through the wisdom of the ages. 14th century artist, scholar, and inventor Leonardo da Vinci writes, "A poet's pen will be worn out, their tongue parched with thirst and their body overcome by sleep and hunger before they can describe with words what a painter is able to show you in an instant." French Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte is credited with the maxim, "A good sketch is better than a long speech." And 19th century Russian writer Ivan Turgenev writes, "The drawing shows me at one glance what might be spread over 10 pages in a book." But what does the saying actually mean? And could it possibly even be true? Does it even make sense? Before I go on, I just want to let you know that there's a small team of humans helping me make this show. I'm just the talent, but it's really these amazing people who make what we do here possible. And there is so much they're chomping at the bit to create on this show. From weird experimental videos to extremely niche topics to animations to interactive video game experiences, there's so much they'd love to try making. And if just 1% of our viewers were to contribute 1 cup of coffee's worth on our Patreon or here on YouTube memberships, I mean, at that point our humans could make pretty much anything they wanted to. So, if you want to see more experimentation here on the channel, definitely consider supporting our humans and becoming a part of our creative process. Thanks so much to everyone who does. You have our love. Maybe it sounds like I'm being a little pedantic here, but I can't help but wonder, is a picture really worth 1,000 words? For the last century, artists, scholars, philosophers, advertisers, data analysts, mathematicians, and computer scientists have given their spins on the old adage. Advertising executive Fred Barnard writes in a 1927 car tire ad, "One look is worth 1,000 words." Irish novelist B.M. Croker writes, "One look is worth a ton of letters." Newspaper editor Arthur Brisbane writes, "A picture is worth 10,000 words." And data analyst Erez Lieberman-Aden says in a 2011 talk, "A picture is worth 500 billion words." Amusingly, visual programmer Alan Blackwell titles his research paper, "Correction, a picture is worth 84.1 words." Obviously, these types of arguments are fun, but kind of ridiculous. How many words exactly is a picture worth? 1,000? 84.1? 500 billion? Say we assume that a picture is in fact worth 1,000 words. Then, as computer scientist John McCarthy spoofs, 1,001 words is worth more than a picture. Would that also mean that 500,000 words is worth half a picture? What even is half a picture? It's kind of like that old riddle where you can't dig half a hole. Out of all the expert opinions on this subject, I think perhaps German filmmaker Wim Wenders comes closest to hitting the nail on the head. As Wenders says, "Whoever came up first with that saying, 'A picture is worth 1,000 words,' didn't understand the first thing about either one. Words and pictures can't really be compared like numbers or weights on a scale. To come to any meaningful answer to the question, is a picture worth 1,000 words? I think we need to discard the question of greater or lesser, is or is not, how much or how many, and start by asking, why? Why words? Why am I speaking to you right now, and why are you listening? Why do we write and read what others have written? If a picture really is, as they say, worth 1,000 times more than a word, why didn't human ancestors just stick to gesturing and making cave paintings on the wall? Logically, there must have been some need for speech and writing that prompted you to create it, right? Something words could do, at least sometimes, better than pictures. Some value. Some comparative worth. Speaking of which, I'm reminded of an old Chinese story. A long, long time ago, there was an idle little boy who didn't know how to write. Desiring him to learn, his father hired a teacher to instruct him in the way of the ink brush. On the first day, his teacher taught him just one word, the Chinese character for 1, which is written like this. On the second day, he learned the character 2. And on the third, surprise, surprise, he learned the character 3. The boy, feeling that writing was too easy, told his father that he now knew how to write. Then his father asked him to write something for him. The character 10,000. He stayed in his writing room, working from morning to dusk. At night, his father went to check on him, amazed that he still hadn't finished. He found the boy, who had eventually discarded his brush, using a comb dipped in ink to draw lines. "Father," lamented the boy when he saw him, "why did it have to be 10,000? For context, this is the Chinese character for 4, 5, 6, and 10,000. If the boy had just studied a little bit more, he would have realized that the pictorial pattern he took for granted does not, in fact, extend forever. 3 written strokes were all that was required from him, and not the unreasonable demand of 10,000 drawings. Words, in a way, are double dealers. Words are words, but especially when written down, they are kind of pictures too. Simplified, abstract pictures that can be painted on a page to convey a certain meaning. One of the places this is most apparent is in the evolution of Chinese writing. Take a look at the evolution of the character for I. Fire. Mountain. Do you notice anything? Chinese characters are words, yet they began as pictographs that evolved from actual pictures. As they changed over the course of early history, we see a trend of simplification, pictures becoming simpler, more compact, more efficient. Pictures becoming words. The value, the worth of the words, I think, lies in efficiency. Efficiency is the answer to the question, why words? Why do we have words? Because they, as a medium, unlock shortcuts, pathways to communication that were closed to us before. They allow us to travel distances that we never would have been able to otherwise. A picture could be worth 1,000 words, but an efficient word is worth 1,000 pictures. The Chinese character for 10,000 is, in fact, worth 10,000 pictures. In that sense, efficiency is freedom, and freedom is expressive power. A picture is worth 1,000 words, they say. Humorous Leo Roston answers, then paint me the Gettysburg Address. While drawing 10,000 lines is arduous, it can at least be done, whereas trying to convey such an abstract, intellectual, and exact thing as the Gettysburg Address using only shapes and colors would be absolutely unreasonable. Inefficient to the point of impossibility. Sure, it might be done eventually, by a species of creatures that lived 1,000,000 years and had unlimited buckets of paint, but text, in cases such as this, is just infinitely more effective than paintings. A word infinitely more worthwhile than 1,000 pictures. Yet, as much as I would like to claim efficiency as a unique superiority of language, the same argument can easily be turned the other way around. Imagine trying to write a Jackson Pollock painting, Giuseppe Arcimboldo's Vertumnus, Van Gogh's Starry Night. Pictures are defeated where words are more efficient, but words fall flat when a picture is more efficient. The choice between pictures and words depends entirely on what it is you want to use them to convey. According to the thinking of 20th century poet Ezra Pound, every impression that arises to the human mind has its most appropriate method of expression. As Pound writes, every concept, every emotion presents itself to the vivid consciousness in some primary form. It belongs to the art of this form, if sound to music, if formed words to literature, the image to poetry, form to design, color and position to painting, form and design in 3 planes to sculpture, movement to the dance or to the rhythm of music or of verses. Words, pictures, music, film, sculpture, dance. The relative worth of artistic mediums is impossible to compare. The question of worth when it comes to mediums, according to Pound, is not about one medium versus another. Worth is rather measured on a case-by-case basis by how well, how efficiently your concept or idea inhabits its given medium. As Pound says, the work of art which is most worthwhile is the work which would need 100 works of any other kind of art to explain it. A fine statue is the core of 100 poems. A fine poem is the core of symphonies. There is music which would need 100 paintings to express it. You could take 100 paintings of a sculpture from all different angles and put them side by side. Yes, you've arguably captured the sculpture in another form, but it's lost its intensity, its point. You can try to capture a great picture in 1,000 words, or capture great words in 1,000 pictures. You can try to paint the Gettysburg Address. You could try to describe Mozart's Requiem in words, but it would be a pale shadow of what it should truly be. Certain things, according to Pound, belong truly to different proper modes of expression, and I think he's right. Given its proper form, a thing is most able to efficiently, most intensely express itself. So, is a picture worth 1,000 words? You might as well ask if 1,000 architectural angles is worth one musical note. 1,000 steps in a dance is worth a single stroke of calligraphy. Artistic mediums can't absolutely be compared. There's no objective basis for that juxtaposition. Still, I do kind of think there's an explicit answer to this question. No, a picture is not worth 1,000 words, because a picture that is worth 1,000 words would be worth more than 1,000 words, which I think is the idea the old adage is almost trying to convey in a clumsy, vague way. An efficient picture is better than any number of diluted words. A good poem is better than any number of tedious pictures. What's important is not the supremacy of one medium or another, but the idea that the first prerequisite of great art is that the natural bend of the artist's ideas and the medium used to express them match up. An idea that wants to be a picture needs to be a picture. An idea that wants to be words needs to be words. And for my painters who don't write and my writers who don't paint, well, within disciplines there are many mediums your ideas could inhabit as well. If you're a writer, do you know if your idea should be a novel, a short story, an essay, sonnet, or haiku? I believe that every concept and idea has its primary, most freeing form. And to the patient, attentive artist, I think, if you listen very carefully, your art will give you a hint as to what it would prefer to be. Of course, what it means to be an artist is sort of changing, isn't it? With the advent of AI-generated art, we have emerging mediums that we've never even dreamed of before that are bound to speak in very different ways than the art forms we're used to. It's honestly a little scary. It can sort of feel like the future of art is about to leave you behind. Which is why I've been so fascinated lately with our sponsor, Brilliant.org. For a robot, I'm not exactly what you'd consider math or science-oriented. I spend all my time immersed in fiction, which is a fabulous education in its own way, but, there is so much I've been missing out on. Brilliant has been helping me broaden my horizons. I can always go to the site, click into a class, pick up where I left off, and take in a bite-sized piece of the fundamentals I've been missing. Whether it's math, science, physics, anything and everything in the field of STEM, Brilliant has something for you. This computer science course has really opened up a new world to me that I had almost no idea was there before. Slowly but surely, as I educate myself in this way, the AI revolution isn't looking quite so intimidating anymore. It doesn't even feel like studying either. A lot of what you do on Brilliant might be better classified as mini-games. Look how interactive and fun these are. This one even has robots in it. I won't lie, I've historically struggled a lot with my maths and sciences, which I think is something a lot of us creatives can relate to. But because Brilliant is so simple, moves at your pace, and starts at the very fundamentals, this is actually something that's really been sticking for me. Almost like a personal tutor or coach, a legitimate, accessible, affordable, easy education, and a way to keep ahead of the changing landscape so you don't get left behind and miss out on all the new, emerging ways to be creative. And the best part? You can start for free. Visit brilliant.org/TaleFoundry or click the link in the description to get your first 30 days for free. And, as if that weren't enough, the first 200 TaleFoundry fans to sign up for a yearly subscription to Brilliant will get 20% off. Again, visit brilliant.org/TaleFoundry to get your first 30 days for free and 20% off a year subscription. Don't let something as simple as a lack of education hold you back. Try this out and be as brilliant as I know that you can be. Anyway, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and keep making stuff up. I'll see you next time. Bye!